Hi guys, and welcome back to the Devine Witch. I'm your host, the Devine Witch, and today we're going to talk about chaos magic. So grab your coffee, take a sip, and let's dive in. Alright, with that being said, guys, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I go live every week, and I also upload every week, so that way you guys kind of stay in the loop. And it also helps us hit our 1,000 subscriber goal. Once we do, I'm going to be going live for 24 hours doing readings, talking, and it's going to be crazy. I'm going to be tired, and there's going to be lots and lots of coffee. So let's go ahead and let's dive into what is chaos magic. Now, before I start this video, I also want to put this disclaimer. This is my personal path. This is what I do. If you do not agree with it, you got something that you do different, that is you and your path. That is why I always say on this channel, no two witches witch alike, and I'm not secluded from that saying. So with that being said, what is chaos magic? To me, chaos magic is being able to manifest your desires by using negative, positive, and neutral forces and energy in a situation or whatever it may be to fuel my magic, to fuel my intent. That is the basis of what I go by when it comes to chaos magic. Now, what do you need to know about chaos magic? Chaos magic, the way that I do it, I kind of break it down into sections, okay? So I'm going to tell you what the sections are, and then we're going to go over one section at a time, okay? So please, at this point, make sure to like, because, you know, I'm a squirrel. By the way, we are squirrels over here on this channel. We are sporadic, and that's why I love chaos energy and chaos magic. So with that being said, there are a few things that we do. We do knowledge, we do structure, we do intent, balance, control, feeding, manifestation, and that is what I go by when I do any type of magic, and especially when I'm dealing with chaos magic. Now, the first thing that we need to know is our intent. The reason I say this is because without the intent of what you're planning to do in your chaos magic, you are basically doing nothing, okay? The worst thing that I think a witch can do is have idle hands and do nothing. Especially when, you know, you got things going wrong in your life and you're trying to, you know, push forward, but you got energies pushing back on you and things are not working out. That's kind of where chaos magic comes in and takes all that energy that is chaos and helps manifest what you're wanting, your intent, what your goal is. So to do this, I always say knowledge is key. The reason why knowledge is key is it's like anything else we do within our magical community and our personal practices from day to day. Knowledge is what helps us and defines us as witches. It helps us in our magic, it helps us in manifesting things in our reality, and it also helps shape our reality. Because knowledge is power, and power is knowledge. It is a vice versa reality within these two. So, with knowledge, what would I suggest for you to look into? The first thing I want to suggest is don't limit yourself. And I say this not only with chaos magic, but with every type of magic that you do or the path that you walk. Do not limit yourself. Like me personally, I see myself as a Hellenistic pagan. I follow the Greek gods. I worship Hecate. I worship Hades. And I'm slowly starting to get in with Hermes. So that's been a fun little journey, but that's beside the point, and that's neither here nor there. So with that being said, knowledge is key. So even though I identify myself as a Hellenistic pagan or Hellenic pagan, I personally am open to all forms of magic. I want to learn. I want to soak it up like a sponge. When we limit ourselves within our magic and our knowledge of that magic, we stop ourselves from gaining things that could help us put into our intent, into our manifestation. This, to me, I know a lot of people may not agree with that. Some say, well, what about close practices? I say do it like this. Do what feels comfortable with you. If it comes to a close practice, work with somebody who is in that close practice to where you're sharing your knowledge that may be a close practice for them. Kind of work with it. It's something that you got to find out. Now, me personally, I see it like this. We have a soul. All of our souls have a journey, and that journey is not defined by the body that we're in or who we got birth to or the blood within, because this is all a shell. It is all a form. It is nothing more than a physical form for you to see and communicate with me. But the soul is everlasting, ever forming. You cannot kill energy. It just transforms from one thing to another. So keep that in mind. That's my personal philosophy. But I always go with everything that I'm learning with respect. And that's something that you're going to have to acknowledge, is when you're going to learn about different things. So let's say you do Sumerian or Babylonian or African traditions or Norse Icelandic traditions or Romanian traditions. Whatever tradition it is that you're looking out there and for, you want to go at it with respect. One, you're like a newborn baby. You have no clue what the fuck it is, what energies do what. Don't start doing things if you don't know the history, if you don't know the work, if you don't know what it is that you're dealing with. Because you can read a part in a book that says, oh yeah, I can use this person to do this, this, and this. But then you skip the part where it was like, sacrifice this if you don't do what you're supposed to, and then blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? And this is how people start to get those things that they don't want. Their intent never really manifests into their desire, and that's why nothing goes right in their life. So just kind of take knowledge as it is something that is being given to you. Whether it's something that you're reading here in the Akasha records when you're astrally projecting, or from your guides, your gods, friends, whatever it is, take it with the utmost respect and treat it like it's a loaded gun, because that's what it is. Knowledge is power, like we said in the beginning. So everything that you learn is like having a loaded gun or a ticking time bomb, as they say. So make sure that you do it with respect, because sometimes that bomb will blow back up in your face because you did not do the steps. That's the first thing I want to say. Second thing I want to talk about is sigils. Sigils are very important. They protect us. They bind things. They can be used for summoning, depending on what it is. So when it comes to sigils, you can either create sigils, find sigils, or use, well, the finding and the using sigils would be the same. So like if we look in the Goetic has demons. They all have sigils. You can use those sigils. It's kind of common knowledge. That's kind of what people use. Now, some people may work with certain demons and they create their own sigil for that demon because they don't want everybody in their brother knowing that they're using that type of Solomon key magic, right? So you just got to take it in as what is it to you. Like for me, the cross is, you know, a sigil for Hecate, because the crossroads, okay? It's right in there. So that's how, like, I'll have crosses or I'll have pentacles. You know, it just depends on what energy I'm wanting to bring in. The next thing I want to talk about is energy magic. This is why I told you guys in the beginning of the video, go check out my video on Energy Magic 101. And this is going to kind of tie in with it, because it is a form of energy magic. That's what chaos is. It's taking chaotic energy and using it within your magic. So that's what I want you to study as far as knowledge goes. Chaos magic, sigils, different cultures that are not yours, that you've been drawn to, that your soul's called to, but you've never actually put in the time or the work to. If you don't know what your soul's being called to, what are places that you want to visit that you've never visited? This would be an indication of what your soul is telling you. Hey, you've lived here in a past life, blah, blah, blah. Also, when it comes to knowledge, you know, you want to obtain and remember that knowledge and what I'm about to talk about next, which is structure, are going to go very hand in hand, and you're going to see that next. So let's talk about structure. What is structure? Now, most people think chaos magic, how can it be structured if it's chaotic? Because if you're controlling a situation, no matter if it's chaos or not chaos, there has to be some structure to it. And the structure setup that I usually follow is, what is my setup? You know, that follows with the intent that I'm doing. What tools do I need to follow the intent that I'm doing? What rituals or spell works do I need to do prior to either protect myself or to escalate the magic that I'm doing? What energy, what needle that I need to throw in this haystack to get my structure started? Okay? And timing. I personally believe in timing. Timing is one of those things that even the ancients believed in. Certain times, certain seasons where things are easier to control or maintain. Looking at the planetary cycles and using them for not only their structures, but the rituals, the rites, and all this. So do keep that in mind. This is driving me nuts. I love it, but it's driving me nuts. So this is why structure is important, and it goes hand in hand with knowledge. Okay, so if you're starting your structure, you already got your intent in mind. Let's say you're wanting to manifest money. Okay, so you've got your knowledge, you're looking into all these cultures. By the way, when you go to research, don't try to rush yourself. As I always say, another thing on this channel is it's not a destination, it's a fucking journey. Take it. Sometimes you're going to learn things and you're going to start into your chaos magic journey, and you're going to be like, you learned something new, and you're like, does that discredit everything I've ever done? No. Because in that moment, that was a fact. And that's kind of where it goes into the psychology of the knowledge, which works into the structure, is because we shape our own reality. So if we think negative all the time, you're going to have a negative reality. If you think positive all the time, you're going to have a positive reality. If you're around chaos, how do you maintain, that in between? And we'll get into that later. So when we talk about intent as well, what is your goal? What is it that you're wanting to achieve? How do you plan to achieve it? Write your steps. This goes in with knowledge and the structure, okay? So when we're doing this, you want to be able to see it. You can do a manifestation board. You can write it in your journal. You can look at it every night and day, which I would suggest, because that helps add more energy into it, and the steps that have been taken. It's almost like, you remember back in the 90s when they had all those Mean Girl movies and they always followed a certain step? Or when Scary Movie made the, joke about how horror movies are structured? That's basically what you want to do, is how are you going to structure the spell? Where is it going to go? Where's that intent follow through? And when it comes to intent, we need to talk about feeding, okay? Because when we're doing things, no matter what magic it is, no matter if you're working with an entity yourself or energy, you are creating things from that energy, and it will eventually manifest into something, okay? And it's not only your intent, but you get little helps along the way. It's like bringing a spirit to life, which this goes into the sacrifice. What kind of sacrifices do you need? What are you going to be feeding this ritual with and this spell work? Because, see, most people want to think when it comes to magic in general that, oh, I did the spell, it's done, wash my hands of it, be done. But there is certain types of magic, and chaos is one of them, where you got to continuously feed it. So when you're doing chaos magic, there's a few ways that you can feed your magic. One would be things that come out of your body. That happen when you're excited, and normally people can do it by themselves or with a partner, and it starts with a C and ends with a M, and there's a U in the middle. So I'm going to put that out there. I'm trying to word it to where my video won't get banned. So that's a way to feed it as well. You can use blood as well to feed it. You can use your energy. Now, when we're talking about energy and we're talking about chaos magic, we got chaos energy. So let's imagine that I'm trying to build my wealth, right? And I'm in a situation where every time I try to move 2 steps, I get pushed back 2 steps forward by the universe, by people, by those who I'm trying to work with to try to get this manifested in my life. So you're going to take all that energy and you're going to suck it towards you, which is going to seem crazy, but it works, okay? So you're going to suck all that negative energy towards you, which most people say, don't do it, but do it. Okay, this is part of how I do my chaos magic. I suck all that energy and I imagine it like a ball. Now, if you are wanting to be a little bit, like if you're more of like monkey see, I got to actually see a physical thing, then my assistant will bring me one of my magic balls that is on his altar, and I will show you something that you can do while you're doing this. And I'm just going to ramble until I get that magic ball from his altar, preferably a color that's maybe, I don't know, black or red or green or whatever. It's an example, and you just give me a ball. Thank you. All right. So if you're more of, I got to be able to see, okay? So we've got this black ball, okay? And it seems small to you. And you're like, well, I need something big because my life's a shit show. No. even the smallest pebble is able to do something, okay? So when you look at this ball, I want you to focus all that negative energy, all that stuff into it. I'm not going to do it with this one because that's not what this one is intended for. But this will be your physical representation, okay? This is going to help you with your structure. It is going to be one of your tools that you're going to use to put the chaos into to work your magic. You can put this ball on top of a sigil that you have charged with your CUM or whatever else it is that you wish to charge it with, and keep that chaos magic there so it feeds into that. Now, when you're doing a sigil, let's say like you do one for money, right? You want to, write your intent. And if you don't know how to do sigils, let me know down below. We'll go into it. Or you can look it up. It's up to you. Oh, shit, I dropped my ball. Anyway, like I was saying. So, you're going to have this on top of your sigil, okay? What it is you're trying to manifest. So, you're trying to manifest money. So, we got this, and we're going to put it on our sigil. So, let's say my palm is the sigil, right? We got it on there. The sigil's charged. This has been put in the intent. And then we're going to go to this, like I said, this is where we're refeeding, bringing that intent. Because intent is not just a one stage, bam, bam, thank you, ma'am. You got to fuel it. So you're putting that energy and bringing it from the universe that is directed towards you anyway, but bringing it all at once and putting it into here to manifest and to use that to power the sigil even more, okay? So that's kind of adding the fuel to the fire. Another thing that you can do to add more chaos, let's say things start evening out and you need the chaos to continue because you haven't manifested your desires. So this would be the part when you actually start doing a little bit more chaos, throwing a couple craziness into this thing that you're trying to produce to get more of that chaotic energy flowing. Okay, so that way you're always continually feeding it. Now, when you're doing chaos magic, you don't necessarily have to add more chaos to your life. You can add chaos to someone else's life and use the annoyance that they have from their energy towards you to help fuel. This will give you an endless supply of energy that is not your energy, and it will help fuel your work. Now, with that being said, we need to talk about one more thing. Well, a few more things, really. Now we need to talk about balance, and we need to talk about control. When it comes to chaos magic, balance and control are very important when you're doing chaos magic, okay? So you're probably asking why. Balance seems a little bit, understandable. So imagine this pin, right? Let me see if I can do it with this one. I wish I had a blade that actually had pretty good balance. But imagine this, okay? So we got the pin. Right now, it's even. But if I go like this, it doesn't stay there, right? So imagine your magic right now is like this pin. Excuse my shaking because, it's part of who I am. Anyway, so you're trying to find the control, finding the balance. You got to keep everything even, because if you don't keep it even, then you're not in control of the situation. So let's say someone derails you and it starts to tip, right? But you have to slowly bring it back up to make it do what you want. And that's where the control comes in, and finding that balance. So let's say someone is derailing your plans. How do you get back that control? Well, there's a few different ways. There's manipulation, manipulating the people around them to make them look like they know nothing. Or you can do spell work to get them out of your way so you can finish what you're doing. And this would be more fuel or more feeding power into the work you're trying to do, because then you're balancing out the chaotic energy. And you can also use their energy to fuel your work, which will in return drain things from them and take them off your path. Now, will we talk about this eventually? Of course we will. Will I be doing it in this video? No. But I'm just letting you know the possibilities with it. So, we went over knowledge, structure, intent, balance, control, feeding, and now let's talk about manifestation. When it comes to manifestation, I've said this throughout the video. It is not a wham, bam, thank you, ma'am type of thing. Okay, so if you think it's going to be like a quick little love spell or a quick little breaking of the cord, no, baby. When you work with chaos, you got to keep the chaos going so that way the manifestation comes. Now, You got to keep this going and keep feeding this until your goal is reached. Once that is done and you've achieved what you needed, you got what you want, stop feeding the manifestation. Cleanse everything. You can even do, I wouldn't do a reversal spell because you don't want to reverse everything that you've done. You just want to put it into it, okay? So you can do a cutting of cords to put it into a spell. You can snuff it out by not feeding it. Sometimes when you're doing certain spell work, this isn't something that ever ends. It's continuous, especially if you're going for things like money. You're going to continuously feeding either a ball, or continuously feeding a mojo bag, or continuously feeding a sigil that you have. So just remember, you know, when it comes to your manifestation, make sure of your goal. Is it a short-term goal? Is it a long-term goal? Make sure that you have your intent set at exactly what you want. If you have to, write it down, and then you can write it down, and as you do your working, your initial spell work or whatever it is that you are doing, then you can burn that paper, use those ashes to mix in with some paint to make your sigil. That's what I would suggest, at least. I mean, it does make it great, and it kind of puts that into the sigil even though you made the sigil, you know what I mean? So it adds that extra oomph, you know what I mean? You can even take some of that ash, and then you can get you a little vial or a little locket or something that you could wear on you where people see it but they don't think nothing of it, and it's actually got your intent on that, and you know, you can put the sigil on the bottom or inside of it, whatever it is that you're wanting to do. So just kind of keep that in mind. So hopefully this video has helped you guys with what is chaos magic and the structure that I go towards. Now, I'm doing this video, but eventually down the line, I would like to start showing you guys some different spell works, some different things that you guys can do. I do want to take time to thank those who are our Patreon subscribers, because without you guys, I couldn't do what I love doing, which is talking about magic, helping other people, more than I do in my day-to-day and my community. So I want to thank you guys. If you guys want to check out Patreon, you can support us for as little as like a couple dollars a month. It just kind of helps us out to be able to continue doing what we do, help with projects such as our garden project, along with, you know, events that we're doing, which we got one coming up this Sunday. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed our video here on Chaos Magic, and please do remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Until next guys, remember, no two witches.